You're full of You're the one that's a liar, and that was trying to hurt my family.
Oh
You
my
know how
God.
to
I just ever get a
shut
word
your
in.
mouth.
Yeah, okay. She's such a
please.
joke. She's such
please.
a...
When table flips are just the beginning. Remember, when Teresa flipped that table? That iconic moment from season 1 was just the beginning of the wild drama on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. That moment from season 1 set the stage, but it was just the beginning. These aren't just silly arguments. These fights changed friendships, family bonds, and kept us all glued to our screens. Hair extensions fly, glasses break, screaming, swearing, and squaring off, and many an evening ruined by these women and their tempers. And for so many years, we have been here for it. But the drama got so intense that by the end of season 14, which just finished airing, Andy Cohen and Bravo decided the whole cast needed a reboot. That's right, these fights didn't just change relationships, they changed the entire show. So sit back and get ready to see what we think are the best fights of RHONG history. Family feuds that got too real. You think flipping tables is intense? Just wait until you see family members go at it. Jersey has seen a couple. Remember that christening in season 3? A big family party turned into a big family fight. Teresa went to congratulate her brother Joe and his wife Melissa. All hell broke loose. The tension that had been simmering for years boiled over to an all-out brawl. What started as an argument between Teresa and Joe quickly turned physical, with other family members jumping in. Glasses were smashed, tables were overturned, and security had to intervene. It was chaos to say the least. This fight wasn't just for the cameras. The emotional fallout lasted for seasons.
You're disappointing our family.
I am?
Yes, you
Shame
should
on
stick
you.
with your sister.
I'm not sticking with...
Teresa and Joe's relationship was damaged for years. Every family gathering became a potential powder keg. The RHONG audience has been wondering for years if reconciliation would ever possible after such a public meltdown. Season 5 brought the even more intense Battle of the Joes. Joe Gorga versus Joe Judas, brother-in-law against brother-in-law. The bad blood between these two had been building for a long time, and they fought each other in a very real, very scary physical way that we won't soon forget. Two grown men tackling each other and rolling around on the ground and trading punches. And it gets worse. At one point, Joe Gorga reportedly bit Joe Judas. This fight had been predicted for a while. Joe Judas had said, "One day it's gonna happen. He's gonna get me fucking mad. I am gonna fucking flip." The fight was brutal, leaving both men bruised and battered, physically and emotionally. These family feuds hit different. When it's just cast members fighting, it's entertaining. But when you see siblings or in-laws at each other's throats, it feels more real, more raw. It's like watching your own family's dirty laundry being aired on national television. We are not just seeing castmates who can walk away at the end of filming. These are people who have to see each other at holidays, who share nieces and nephews, who have decades of history. The stakes are so much higher. These family brawls change the whole dynamic of the show. Suddenly, every interaction between Teresa and Joe, or the two Joes, was loaded with tension. Viewers were constantly on edge, wondering if another explosion was just around the corner. It added a layer of complexity to the relationships that kept us all tuning in week after week. But here's the thing, as wild as these family fights were, they are just the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to RHONG drama, non-family cast members have had some pretty insane moments too. We are talking hair pulling, glass throwing, and verbal takedowns that will make your jaw drop.
I think you're the one emasculated now, shithead.
Splashes, slaps, and shocking moments. You thought family feuds were intense? Wait until you see what happens when these Jersey ladies really let loose. We are talking about fights so wild, they make the family drama look tame. Remember season 9's anniversary party for Jennifer Aideen? It sure was fancy until Margaret decided to add a splash to the shindig, and quite literally too. In the middle of an argument, Margaret shoved Danielle Staub's then-husband, Marty Caffrey, right into the pool. Marty, a grown man in a nice suit for the occasion, suddenly soaking wet, while the party guests look on in shock. And Margaret's response? She simply stated in a cool, even tone, "Your husband's in the pool." It was the kind of moment that had viewers rewinding their DVRs, wondering if they would really see what they thought they saw. But that pool push. It was just the warm-up act for Margaret and Danielle. These two took their feud to a whole new level in season 10, an afternoon in a fancy boutique, surrounded by expensive clothes and accessories, turned from luxurious private shopping event to a disgusting public catfight. Everything seems calm until Margaret decides to pour a bottle of water over Danielle's head. So how did Danielle respond? She went straight for Margaret's ponytail and yanked hard. This was a full-on, drag you across the room kind of hair pull. The show's producers had to rush in to separate them, and left the other housewives stood there in shock. The ponytail pull, as fans now call it, became an instant classic moment in Real Housewives history. And that brings us to this most recent season, season 14. This season brought us a fight that was so intense, it actually changed the rules of the show. Jennifer Aydin and Danielle Caprill argued over a charity event, and this argument got physical, fast. This went from shouting to Jennifer slapping Danielle full on in the face. Then a glass went airborne. In fact, Bravo was so concerned that it suspended both Jen and Danielle from filming while they investigated what happened. Bravo concluded they had had enough and implemented new rules about physical altercations on the show. It's like when your mom says, "This is why we can't have nice things." Only in this case, it's more like, "This is why we can't have unrestrained cat fights on national television anymore." These moments aren't just entertaining, they're the stuff of Real Housewives legend. They are the scenes that have fans texting each other in all caps, creating memes, and debating on social media for weeks. They are the reason we can't look away, even when we know we probably should. But here's the thing about these physical fights. As shocking as they are not even the whole story. Sometimes, the ladies of RHONG prove that words can cut deeper than any slap or hair pull. The verbal showdowns on this show, they are on another level.
18 years old, she reacted
19.
At the time, 18, okay? She reacted to...
Words cut deeper, verbal showdowns. So not all of the craziest moments are all hair pulling and table flipping. But sometimes, the most jaw-dropping scenes happen when these ladies open their mouths. Words can cut deeper than any slap, and nobody knows that better than these ladies. Take the infamous livid lunch from season 2. Caroline Manzo and Danielle Staub sat down for what was supposed to be a calm conversation. Instead, we got one of the most chilling exchanges in Housewives history. Caroline looked Danielle dead in the eye and said, "You know what you are? You are a clown. Your whole life is a joke. When I called you garbage, I meant you were garbage. Auk." You could practically feel the temperature drop through the screen. Danielle, usually quick with a comeback, was left almost speechless. It was like watching a verbal knockout in slow motion. Caroline's words were carefully chosen daggers, each one hitting its mark with scary precision. This wasn't just an argument, it was a takedown. But the drama doesn't always stay contained to lunch tables. Sometimes it explodes on the runway. The posh fashion show has become legendary among RHONG fans as the place where all hell breaks loose. Season 8 gave us a prime example, when Teresa confronted Kim D about some nasty rumors. So with models walking down the catwalk, champagne flowing, and then BAM, Teresa's voice cuts through the music. "I want to fucking straighten her out right away." She declared, "The posh fashion show is more than clothes. It's a battlefield where old grudges come to die and new ones are born." Why is this venue such a hotbed for drama? Maybe it's the combination of high fashion and higher tensions. Or maybe these ladies just can't resist making a scene when they are all dolled up. Whatever the reason, you can bet that when the RHONG cast shows up at Posh, fireworks are guaranteed. But sometimes the most explosive moments happen when the ladies are far from home. Take the infamous Calvo dinner from season 9. What started as a heated discussion about family quickly turned into an all-out war of words. And when words weren't enough, well, that's when the wine started flying. Danielle Staub crossed a line when she brought up Margaret's relationship with her kids. In the world of Real Housewives, family is sacred ground. As Dolores Catania put it, there's an unwritten law in this group. You do not talk about somebody's children. So Margaret responded with a face full of red wine for Danielle. It was shocking, messy, and exactly the kind of moment that keeps us glued to our screens. This wasn't just a petty argument, it was a violation of the Housewives Code, and the punishment needed to be swift and dire. These verbal smackdowns are just as memorable as any physical fight. Why? Because they reveal the raw emotions and deep-seated issues that drive these women. It's one thing to watch someone flip a table. It's another to hear them absolutely eviscerate someone with words alone. We have all been in arguments where we wish we had the perfect comeback. These ladies actually deliver those mic drop moments, saying the things we only dream of in the heat of an argument. It's like watching verbal gladiators, armed with sharp tongues instead of swords. And let's be honest, these fights are addictive. We cringe, we gasp, we might even feel a little guilty for enjoying them so much. But we can't look away, because deep down, we are all a little fascinated by conflict. These verbal showdowns let us experience all that drama from the safety of our living rooms. Why we can't look away? We all love to hate these Jersey fights. They are messy, dramatic, and sometimes downright ridiculous. But that's exactly why we can't stop watching. These over-the-top moments make the show feel authentic, even when we know it's anything but. It's the things you would fight about too, if decorum and manners and assault laws or jail time didn't threaten to get in your way, right? But did season 14 take things too far? When Andy Cohen decided to reboot the entire cast, it made us wonder, is there such a thing as too much drama? The finale left us speechless, and not always in a good way. Sure, we tune in for the chaos, but at what point does it stop being entertaining and start being concerning? What do you think? Did RHONG cross a line, or is this exactly what you want to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments. There are a lot of conflicting thoughts and feelings out there, and we want to hear from you. And be sure to like, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on, so you will know as soon as we have new Housewives content for you.